Hello, folks. So, continuing on the video about products and services, I was talking about how my partner got a material, a cloth for sari, which is a dress here in India. And one of the parts of the sari is actually a blouse, which is actually the top torso part. And you need to get it stitched. It's just a plain material, so you need to actually stitch it up so that you can actually wear it. So the material she got it for 500, and for stitching she had to pay 800 bucks. So it's weird, is absurd, because the material itself costed 500, but now you need to pay 800 bucks to get the service done, which is the service is stitching it up. So the tailor says that, see, if I do this basic thing, it'll look like you're an old woman. So generally, people your age, like younger age, get this thing called princess cut, where it's the way the stitching is done and the way it looks is different. Uh, it's just that you have to pay for it, because even though the product was 500, you have to spend probably more to get some service done. For example, you have a car or you have an electronic item for which you paid some amount of money. Later, at some point, something breaks or you need to get some service done, some repair done. At some point, you'll realize that you paid a lot for the repair compared to the cost of the product itself, like over the years, right? It's the cost you need to pay for maintaining the product that you have, right? It's the cost you have to pay for fixing the product that you have, or you can just go ahead and buy a new product. No one is going to stop you, is what they'll say. So you still have to pay for the service. For example, there's also this idea where, let's say you buy something, you need to get it delivered, or you need to actually send it through like parcel from one point to another point. Let's say the product itself costed 100 rupees, but you need to parcel it from one point to another point, and for that it's costing 200 rupees or 300 rupees or 1000 rupees. It doesn't make sense, does it? Like, to buy something for 100 bucks, but then to deliver it, to parcel it from one place to another place, you have to pay so much money. And it's like, it sounds stupid, but then that's the money you have to pay for the service, right? Because it is going to take some time, effort, and energy to actually move the parcel, to take the product from point A to point B. So no matter the value of the product, you still have to pay the money for the service, which is transporting something from point A to point B. The mode of transport and everything matters, so accordingly, and the speed of transport and everything matters. Accordingly, you basically pay that amount of money. Similarly, let's say you're buying something online and you want to get it delivered. The cost of the item itself is, let's say, 100 bucks, but then you have to pay 200 bucks for delivery. Doesn't make sense, right? But then you still have to pay for it, because if you want the product, you still have to pay for it. That's why some services have a minimum cost order value, so that they can provide you the delivery at a lower cost or a sensible cost, so that your minimum order value is high, and hence it makes sense to pay, so that you can bring all those order items together for a minimal cost. Like, if you buy for 1000 rupees and you pay 50 rupees or 100 rupees as the delivery charge, it makes sense. But if you buy 20 rupees or 100 rupees and you pay 50 or 100 rupees as delivery charge, it sounds crazy, right? So, and also many services also do this thing where if you have a minimum order value, then they don't actually take delivery charge, because it makes sense for them to deliver a lot of items and a lot of order value for a small or no delivery charge, versus the order value itself is pretty low. Then you just basically ask for some amount of money for delivering, because you don't get much profit from just delivering some item whose order value is like pretty low. So, and you need to actually spend money to deliver items. So that is one thing. What else? And yeah, another example is, let's say you have a item or a product that you want to protect. If the value of the product is, let's say, 1,000 rupees, but the cost of protecting it is, let's say, 10,000 rupees, does it make sense? No, because you would rather just leave it, because you don't want to pay 10 times the money to just protect that item or the product, right? So I mean, these are some cases where you can see that the product versus service and the charges and how much you pay for things and where it makes sense and where it doesn't make sense. So, I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to show that sometimes when you do things like, for example, use AI, the cost of getting the work done versus the value of the work that was done varies a lot. So sometimes the cost of the work done is pretty high, but the value of the work is pretty low. And I've literally seen that in some of the cases where person doing the thing doing the work is actually a person and not a AI. But basically, it doesn't matter who does the work. What matters is how much money it took to get the work done, and what is the value of the work, right? So value of the work is pretty low, but it costed a lot to get the work done. It doesn't make sense, right? So always be aware of the products and services that you get, and the outcomes and the outputs and the results that they promise. Because, for example, sometimes, for example, you get a service done. For example, let's say you go to a gym and you say that, I want to lose weight. The trainer will actually help you, but they'll never say that I will get money from you only if you lose the weight, right? Same is true for educational institutes, organizations. They will help you get score well and all that. They will teach you, but they will never promise that, usually at least, they'll never promise that we will get money from you only if you score well and succeed in this exam, or pass in this exam, and have a good score in this exam, right? Because that is dependent on you, and they don't promise that, and they don't take that risk or liability, because according to them it can be that they can just say you didn't put in enough effort to lose weight, you didn't put in enough effort to score better, so we taught you everything, we helped you do the exercises, we taught you what exercises to do, and we know that it will work, and we know that it will work for everyone, and hence you have to pay us because we got the work done. You have to pay for the work that was done, right? Even though you're not happy with the results. Like, for example, you didn't lose weight, the outcome basically you didn't look great even after the workouts and everything. The results, right? You didn't lose weight, outputs, outcomes. Same is true for the outputs, outcomes, and results when it comes to, say, scoring in exams and all that. So the organization can say we spent a lot of money to pay the professors who taught you, and they actually taught well, and they spent a lot of time and all that. So it can be pretty annoying for the person who is getting the service, because they're not happy with the outputs and outcomes and results, but then they still have to pay. Now think about yourself being in a scenario where you are providing the service now and you're getting paid, and if your customer is not happy, imagine if they'll actually keep getting the service from you, or will they move on. This can be true where you are an employee and there's an employer, or you are a company providing a product or a service, and you have customers. So I think it's very important to ensure that your customers are happy, or else you are in danger. Cool, so that's all I had for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.